Have you ever given the fact that there are roughly 62.5 million millionaires in the world any thought? The interesting thing is that most of these wealthy people weren't born with a silver spoon in their mouths. It may surprise you to learn that 79% of these billionaires work hard to earn their riches by following a few wise habits. Take Ronald Read, a Vermont-born gas station worker and janitor who appears to be an average guy. Despite working at traditional vocations, he was able to amass an astonishing $8 million in the 2000s, when custodians made about $22,000 a year. Ronald did not fit the mold of the traditional millionaire. Instead, he attained wealth using unorthodox methods. Surprisingly, not many people in his town, even those who knew him, knew of his fortune. After his death, it was discovered that he had left a sizable chunk of his wealth to the hospital and library in the area. Our investigation goes beyond the remarkable tales of people like Ronald, those who become millionaires through common, approachable means rather than through celebrity or performance. We explore the methods that can turn a modest salary into a millionaire's fortune in today's video. The first crucial lesson revolves around understanding the wealth formula, a secret that conventional education often neglects. Ronald Read's key insight was recognizing the importance of the wealth formula, the balance between income and expenses. Determining whether you are headed toward financial independence by the time you are 65 depends critically on how much money you have saved at this point in your life. It is imperative that you comprehend this in order to make the required changes to your money before it is too late. Starting savings at age 20, you will need to save $204 a month in order to become a millionaire by the time you are 65. The monthly savings goal rises to $443 if you start saving at age 30, to $1,200 at age 40, and to $2,795 at age 50. Reaching your financial objectives is simpler the sooner you start, as with many things in life. But remember, these estimates are predicated on certain assumptions. It begins by assuming that you have nothing. In order to keep up with inflation, it also accounts for a 2% annual rise in your monthly contributions and a 7% annual growth in your assets. The important thing to remember is that saving money should start as soon as possible, even though these are only mathematical estimates and actual results may differ. Here's a suggestion. Think about giving up on meticulous tracking of expenses and budgeting. Do you really believe that well-to-do people track every expense in Excel spreadsheets? Most likely not. They don't stick to a rigid spending plan. Instead, they have an effective and time-saving method of managing their costs. However, a thorough budget could still be helpful if you have trouble with overspending or unstable finances. The secret is to set monthly spending targets for several categories and whatever money remains in the account at the end of the month. In Lesson 3 delves into the art of maximizing your investments. However, be prepared for a potentially unexpected approach. Remarkably, a poll reveals that more than 75% of millionaires originate from modest backgrounds and were raised in low-income households. These millionaires are distinguished by a mosaic of revenue streams, usually between 3 and 7, rather than a single profitable venture. Consider Ronald Read, who worked 2 jobs, one as a janitor and the other in an unidentified one. Developing numerous revenue channels is a smart strategic move that has 2 benefits. First of all, it frees you from the bonds of reliance on a single source of income, even one that appears to be as stable as a full-time employment. Even though you may think your primary job is infallible, the truth is that when your boss leaves, your finances are at risk. Secondly, your cash flow equation is strengthened by diversifying your sources of income. Yes, you can reduce your monthly expenses, maybe from $3,000 to $2,400, but frugal living has its limits, and surviving on a diet of water and rice necessitates money. However, even a modest increase in income, a few $100s more a week, for example, can significantly improve your cash flow dynamics. There are the traditional paths of working extra, negotiating a raise, or changing jobs to get bigger compensation. But take into account a different route, which many millionaires recommend: starting a side business or obtaining a passive income source. Even while it could take a few more hours, the benefits are definitely worth the work. It's true that your to-do list generally doesn't include finding a new source of money, which brings us to lesson number 4. The unsung billionaire Ronald Read did not get wealthy by learning the ins and outs of cash flow dynamics. Only after his death did his multimillionaire position reveal a secret that he had kept even from his own family. Ronald's fortune wasn't just the product of a careful cash flow plan. During the course of his life, he covertly made investments in about 95 different stocks. It's important to make these kind of informed financial decisions, and I'd want to share with you a simple method to get you started. Let's talk about a major risk before getting into that: day trading. On sites like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, you've probably seen a lot of ads that present day trading as an exciting way to make quick money. 90% of day traders lose money, therefore the reality is less glamorous. Despite the glossy pictures of people studying charts and making multiple transactions a day, Ronald, the seasoned investor, avoided day trading. His approach was to examine a company's core competencies, evaluate its inherent worth, and confirm that the investment was rational from both a quantitative and qualitative standpoint. Avoiding high-risk equities like AMC and GameStop was necessary for this. In Lesson 5, we learned from Ronald Reed's approach to long-term investment. His fortune grew over many years, and every month he set aside a fixed amount of his janitorial salary for investments. Compound interest potency was a major factor in his financial development. Over time, even a small initial investment can yield significant returns, as demonstrated by the exponential growth curve, which Einstein dubbed the eighth wonder of the world. This is similar to how Warren Buffett accumulated most of his riches. In Lesson 6, the importance of how you react to unanticipated occurrences is emphasized. The natural reaction in the event of a stock market crash is to sell out of fear. Having survived 11 market disasters, Ronald understood the key, though: unwavering dedication to long-term investing. The secret is to keep investing during difficult times and to avoid panicking. Ronald Reed's financial tenets essentially include staying calm during market downturns, avoiding day trading, committing to long-term investment techniques, and utilizing compound interest. These teachings are an invaluable resource for anyone trying to make their way through the financial world's intricacies. Ronald took a refreshingly straightforward approach to learning about investing in Lesson 7. He visited the library, read the Wall Street Journal cover to cover, and looked through a variety of free magazines. He also worked with neighbors who were bankers, helping them understand the ins and outs of money and the financial system. It's amazing to see that you're following a similar route and learning from YouTube tutorials. If a book costs you $8, that's a small price to pay for decades worth of information from the writer. Let's move on to Lesson 8. Even with his brilliance, Ronald Reed suffered severe losses on some of his investments. The most important lesson is that nobody is perfect, not even Ronald. He persisted since his portfolio was diversified with other stocks, despite the setbacks. The fundamental lesson is obvious. Perseverance is key, even though we are all prone to making mistakes. Recall that saving money is one area where you can't go wrong. It's a steady, dependable approach in the turbulent world of investing. Which money-saving advice is your favorite, and how are you going to put it into practice? Post your ideas in the comments section below. Together, let's make this Christmas especially memorable by subscribing and sharing. We'll see you in our next video soon. Thanks for watching.